If you are dealing with unmanageable and maybe overwhelming debt, perhaps you are thinking about filing for Chapter 7 bankruptcy. Hopefully, I can shed some light on the whole Chapter 7 process, how it works here in Georgia, and relieve some of that anxiety. The first big step to dealing with overwhelming debt is to meet with an attorney. When you come in for your consultation, we'll ask you what seems like 1,000 questions about your assets. Those are things that you own or are buying, whether it's a house, car, furniture, your bank accounts, your retirement plans. We'll also talk about things that may be coming your way, tax refunds, personal injury claims, or possibly inheritances. These are all assets that play into whether or not you should file or could file for a Chapter 7. Then we move on to your bills. We'll talk about your mortgages, your car payments, credit card, medical bills, taxes, you name it. We go over all of it. Our goal in filing Chapter 7 for you is to discharge or get rid of all of the unsecured debts while keeping and protecting those assets which you want to keep, such as your house and your car. Next, at your appointment, we'll look at whether or not you qualify for Chapter 7. Clients seeking to file Chapter 7 must pass the means test or show that their income is below the average income for a family their size in the state of Georgia. The median income varies by state and family or household size. We can usually tell you at the initial consultation whether or not you qualify to file Chapter 7. Once we have completed the worksheet and you've provided us with tons of documentation, we start working on your bankruptcy petition. The credit counseling certificate is a requirement to filing bankruptcy. This takes about an hour online and costs around $12. You watch the video or you can read the information, answer some true-false questions, and the agency will then issue your certificate. That certificate must be filed with your bankruptcy petition to show that you actually jumped through that hoop of the requirement for filing bankruptcy. As soon as we file the bankruptcy petition, an automatic stay goes into effect for each and every client. That means the phone calls, the annoying text messages, trying to collect debts, the letters, everything stops. It's fabulous. Once we file the petition, about 4 to 6 weeks later, we have what's called the meeting of creditors or the 341 meeting. This is where the trustee asks you questions about your paperwork in our office. This is the 5th time you reviewed and answered the questions, so there's no need for you to be nervous about it. There shouldn't be any surprises. We've gone over your paperwork a lot. Creditors may appear to ask you if you have full coverage insurance on your vehicle, if you're keeping that vehicle. Sometimes they ask about those household goods you pledged as collateral, but we've talked about it ahead of time. You know these questions well before your hearing. The Chapter 7 hearings go very fast. We schedule 3 hearings every 30 minutes, and you're usually out of here 5 minutes after your hearing starts. It goes very, very fast. We do creditor meetings via Zoom, and it's perfectly okay for you to do the Zoom hearing at home in your PJs if you want to, but I prefer that you come sit with me and we do the Zoom hearings together in my office. There's an online debtor education course you must complete prior to completing the case that takes about 2 hours. We'll tell you about it after we file, and then you'll have about 90 days to get it done. If you haven't completed your course by the time the creditor meeting rolls around, we'll remind you. About 60 days after the creditor meeting, you'll receive your discharge from the bankruptcy court. This means that you are no longer legally liable for the debts that are discharged. No one can collect on these discharged debts, and if you do have a creditor that tries to collect on a debt that has been discharged, call me. Hi, I'm Valerie Long, and if you are facing financial difficulties and you believe that bankruptcy may be in your future, please feel free to give us a call. There's no fee for the initial consultation, and I believe we can give you the information to put you on the right path.